You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go. Very nice day here. So, okay, why do they promote the love of God if you don't need to love God for God to love you? I mean, it sounds pretty nasty, right? Well, if you don't love God, God don't love you. That's it. See how they make human fault and failure God on this planet? Let's see if they do. They said they were going to bring some dirt so I could help fill in that hole. Neighbor woman stressing over it. If I had a wife, it'd be honeydew. If I got my neighbor honeydew now. We're not related like that, but help her reduce her stress. The handicapped woman. What happened is she got polio at the tail end of polio. She told me the other day, and that caused her to have that kind of disruption in her life. And she could walk. She says she healed and walked and everything, and it worked real good. But when she got older, it went backwards. And again, that happened with me and stuff like that. But all right, so yeah, I gotta get this bucket secured so we don't have a bunch of noise. I've helped my neighbor widows and women, single women for a long time. Part of the scripture. A lot of people just, widows and orphans, but you got to be able to think and move, man. If the man walk off, then you got to help her too. You're all about business, but I mean, if you running this place, I try to explain it to my neighbor woman. You start talking to her too long, the lady in the office, she runs away. I try to explain to my neighbor, like, she works for the company and they're not making money in here yet. So you're lucky you got the water you got. I didn't tell her that, but they put them on public water. There was something wrong with the well water here. They put them on public water. I'm appreciative that I moved in and didn't have well water, had the good public water and all that. But I try to explain to her, like, they're not making a whole bunch of money off of this place. We're lucky we got what we got. So she ain't gonna do much. The only thing is when they try to protect themselves, I understand it, but it's just I stopped a couple of my projects because it's like scratching my head. You can do it, but we're not liable. You liable. Read the fine print like that. Well, she said it can't be a tripping hazard uh, for the stepping stones. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna thicken up the grass, and it's already working. I'd use some weed and feed, and I'm gonna, but late summer I'm gonna use some seed. It's just Kentucky bluegrass. They said do not plant it late spring. If you don't get it early, then you don't get it at all. It's expensive. If it was regular grass seed, I wouldn't care. Kentucky bluegrass at least twice the price, I think. And that's what you need here. And that's what that does, is that helps choke out the weeds because it grows on, I forget what they call those things. It grows underground and creates new shoots where the other one doesn't do that kind of stuff. That's what the weeds do. That's how the weeds choke out your grass, by being like Kentucky bluegrass. So I'm gonna fight the weeds with that eventually. They say in Pennsylvania, late summer should do it. So far, I love the summers here. I mean, a lot of rain, but again, like I told her, she was like, it rained so much. So I said to my neighbor, I said, it's just worse other places. Not gonna lie. Especially that corn sweat. Right before I leave, I read about corn. If I'd read about corn sweat before I got there, I never would have got to either place, Oklahoma or Kansas. That's what it's nasty. It's like starchy humidity. That's what it's like. Starchy humidity. Nasty. Pasty humidity. I didn't realize the coffee place was right here. A lot of money down in here because they built the houses off this main road. Their quote unquote dream house. So with God, if you don't love God, it's more difficult for God to connect to you. So they promote the love of God, because if you love God, then the connection's better. Anybody you love, you're going to connect to, unless something, blocking it, I guess. Why am I hearing from you more? That's that's administration business there, like not political administration, God administration. It's going to be pretty heavy story. But we're retaliating with metaphysical means. Talking junk is a metaphysical operation. If you didn't know that, they start getting way over your life. Just start talking junk about them. Make it as public as they can. But again, when people aren't doing anything and you talk junk about them, then you're taking them down unnecessarily. So that's an offensive action, whereas the other one is a defensive action. If they're moving 8 children around, then that's the quality of people that are in these things today. So that means you have less power for your life, because you have to stop yourself. I don't care what anybody tells you. If they're willing you to have sex with children, you actually have to use your intrinsic self and the power you manifest on this planet to block that. Otherwise, you get possessed and you do it. There's no in betweens. There's no what ifs or but. Now, in the physical sense, yeah, there could be somebody that using bait children doesn't do that, especially initially. They may have to wire that. Again, they make their when it talks about the Sanhedrin, it's all and the temple, Caiaphas and Sadducees and all that, Pharisees. It's all about everybody, but it definitely also speaks about law enforcement, because law enforcement used to be part of the temple. And remember, they make the the proselyte or the disciple twice the devil that they were. That's real. So, but all sorts of things happen. Like you're going to use your power not to have sex with a child, regardless. It just happens. Some people, if they do it enough, you'll see it. But if they don't do it enough, you won't even see it. But you'll be like, for some reason, all my stocks crashed because you have no power left. You had a power away sex with children. You don't have a job. Oh, I don't have a job now. Company closed down. They're willing you to have sex with children. They're crazy. They do it to everybody they don't like, and they don't like 99% of the people they meet. That's why I have no power left for life. And of course, they're also willing away the women, but also physically blocking women. If I were to meet a woman today, she'd be gone by tomorrow. She'd believe that somebody would either kill her or arrest her if she ever met me again or called me on the phone, unless they were setting something up. Then they would tell her to call me and say certain things, do certain things, and then probably disappear at a certain point and laugh. And guess what they do when this is happening? They get all turned on. These are the officers that you see, they're not going to arrest every officer. They're not even going to investigate every officer. That's the scam of the deep state. But a lot of officers get in trouble for sex. That's who they are. They get up doing that, lording over a person, trying to make them sexual, trying to block their heterosexuality and their relationships. And Satan rewards them with sexual gratification. Satan is always, whatever they do physical, they're paid back with satanic anti-power. So they can do it without even physically doing it. But they also get sexual gratification. Yeah, they're narcissists and sociopaths. That's how they get off. Now what's going to happen is the young person, you'll see to heal them, that using his bait, because the sexual demons are around them, and they're going to stay there the whole life if they can. For any child you put into that, don't be bitching when she's pregnant at 16, or he's out making girls pregnant, or even other boys pregnant. If you know what I mean. It's happening. No way. There are no questions, only answers. They're bringing sexual demons. They're saying what to find. But how do they find it? Sexual demons. That's some people to it that they bring. I travel with an army. They travel with a demon army. That's the reality of what's happening. The rest is an illusion. Even people in church part of it too, man. They try to act like everybody else messed up. They get off on it. A lot of people in church are sociopaths. It used to be just the preachers would attract sociopaths and narcissists. Now everybody's kind of into it. Double-tongued, weak-minded. The people that are actually doing it, that are possessed by them, have nothing to worry about. In fact, they may be God's bait. But of course, he doesn't want you to do that. People make fun of women, younger women that marry an older guy that's got money. And again, it has nothing to do with me. Just explaining this. But they make fun of them. And, you could hate on them all you like, but the longer you out there, the more likely you're going to get nothing. but some sexually transmitted disease and a welfare check. They will each other to that stuff, man. They will people to that. They think it's funny. That's why they're mad at me. I won't go out and have sex because they know they can give me HIV or some sex disease if I did it. there's some new sex disease too. I forget what it was, but it's like crazy. It's causing severe issues. I think it might be actually an old one that research. I think it was syphilis that researched that thing. And that's a pretty nasty thing. It has other health issues. They don't care, man. They all sick. They want people to have every disease in the book so they can say that they don't. Oh, I'm better than you because I don't. That's how they are, man. That's a narcissist sociopath. You can't even begin to fathom their minds because you live the normal. Most people live a normal life, and in fact, when they doing their devil stuff, they want you to think that they saving the world, just like Mr. Rush from CIA. He ain't the only one. Hey,
Turn right onto South Main Street.
they got my hair. What we got going on down here, downtown, uptown, downtown? What's up downtown? Like downtown, uptown. Should be smoking a vape while you're pregnant, lady. Maybe she's not pregnant. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry. I need to push away from the table, but she might need to do it more than me. We'll heal her. So you can take different attitudes with that. We'll heal her. It's hard to think about healing people because they in the middle, cursing people. And that's why they hate me so much. I heal people they curse. Somebody's on their deathbed, and all of a sudden they're out there riding a bicycle. More damn you! Yeah, Gibsonia don't have like military people on their lampposts, so we'll go up towards Buffalo. Maybe that's the sign around. Well, Pope should realize there's only up and down, there's only healed and unhealed. I mean, yeah, you need doctors and things like that, but it still goes back to the basic idea of healed and unhealed. You're not going to stop a war by yelling at it. Well, I'm not the Pope or whatever that. Well, because I have angel of vengeance work. Like I yell at things. Well, my choice. Hashem's, you all wouldn't let me be a preacher or whatever it was I was going to be. I guess first it was a rabbi. Oh, shoot. I'm being spooked. Let's see. I'll give it. Oh, here's the science people. Let's see what. Yeah, they're willing me to drive by schools, but now, I like again, you make a choice. I heal the children. I don't even know if they're in school right now. I guess they'd be letting that as far as for the year. I even went past something like preschool. I healed all those kids. Kind of corner from the Christian Science reading room. They're nice people. I'm not into their religion, but I like Mary Bickle. Well, if you understand how to read it, and don't take it as the only truth. They're right, but to manifest that level of healing is very difficult, especially in this day and age. But you still, if you're a healer, you read it. It helps you develop the mindset for healing. Or listen to it. I would listen to it. What you do is you go online and they have the Christian Science, I forget what it's called. It's like a radio, like a broadcast. That's great stuff. Where am I? I don't even know. Two ladies wearing the same tank top. Don't hit on us. We're lesbians. Like when you're nice to a lesbian that's been, maybe hit on a little bit too much. And like sometimes that's why that happens, man. It's just been, hit on so much. What is this thing doing? Am I going the right way? They don't know how to be around a nice guy without, thinking you're hitting on them. That used to happen to me in Marshall. So of course, regular women or heterosexual women, well, I don't know, it wasn't such a big deal. I mean, unless you pop the question, they don't care. I'm gonna grab a date. Yeah, I guess for whatever Jonathan Luna's lady friend was. That's why, like, I have one of everything. I